Hey STRU friends, this is your personal invitation to co-invest alongside me. If you haven't heard, I've launched Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities Fund, where I will be personally investing all of my short-term rentals going forward. And if you're an accredited investor and you want instant diversification and you want to participate in the best ideas that I identify, you relate to all of my teachings and the uniqueness and the sense of place and all of that stuff, then please click on the description below and find out more about Stomp Capital short-term rental opportunities. The best is yet to come and we're literally getting started. I would love to have you alongside, so let's go. YouTube, what's happening? It's Richard, founder of STRU and professional real estate developer. And I'm on this series that I've been filming now where I ask Twitter followers what they wanted to know and I would film answers to them on the YouTube channel. So if you're not following me on Twitter, you should, and there's a lot of other people you should be following as well. But one of the questions that I was asked, and I think it's a really good question and it was hearted by a lot of people, which means that a lot of people had this exact same question, was, it seems like EdgeCamp Sporting Club, which is my development here in the Outer Banks where I'm standing right now, is not as active on Airbnb and Vrbo, and instead I'm choosing to go direct. And the big question is, why? Why go direct as opposed to the OTAs like Airbnb and Vrbo? And that's a great question and I have wonderful answers, so let's get into it. So let me first start off by saying I love Airbnb and I love Vrbo. Are they perfect? No, but I love them like my kids who are also imperfect. They really have a great place and time and they really facilitate, right? Like there's so much demand and I've got supply, and so it's a really wonderful marriage between their massive amounts of demand and my limited amount of supply. It brings me a lot of leads. Absolutely not taking anything away from Airbnb or Vrbo, and I use them and I believe in them and I think you should too. That said, to me, that's sort of like the first date or how you get started, or a great place to like learn the ropes and learn how to host and get your operations down and get your pricing down and all that strategy. But a more advanced approach is going direct, and it's a much more valuable approach as well. So one of the things that I like to compare this to is Amazon, where if you're an Amazon reseller, you don't own any of the relationship with the client, the buyer. You don't know their name, you don't know their email, you don't know anything. The order comes anonymous from Amazon and all you do is fulfill it. Now, that's a wonderful way to grow your business and there can be tons of money doing it and people have made millions of dollars doing it, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But most of those people over time start to transition over to Shopify, where it's their own store, it's their own website, and they own the customer relationships. They get their names, they get their phone numbers, they get their email addresses, and it allows them to start to develop a relationship. And why is a relationship important? Well, once you know who your clients are and you understand sort of like their demographics and their personality and what they like and what they dislike and so on, you can start to use that information to grow your business and to get more, in this case, products in that like area. You can cross-sell. You can say if you like product A, you might like product B. You can offer sales and discounts and promotions. Hey, we're offering this special discount for 4th of July. We're offering a special discount at Christmas because you've got this email list. So coming back to the short-term rental market, it's not very dissimilar. It's in fact quite similar. So you should start on Airbnb and on Vrbo and keep a presence there and continue to accept reservations there and bookings and delight those guests and get the 5-star reviews and all of that. Continue doing that. But over time, as you start to tell your story to more and more people and people have friends that they refer to you and they know what you're doing, you start booking directly, then you can start to grow your business where you have relationships, you get feedback, they get referrals, you can offer discounts, you can cross-promote and say, I just opened up a property in Jackson Hole, you might like it. I know you came here to the EdgeCamp Sporting Club in the Outer Banks. If you ski, you're really gonna like this. Those sort of opportunities only exist if you have your direct bookings. And so the question you might be asking is, okay, well, I know it's hard and how do you get started? And we've created tools like HostXaver where you can create your own website. It connects to the calendars, it syncs, and you connect your own Stripe account and PayPal. We never touch the money. So if you're not very tech savvy and you want that solution, HostXaver.com is made for you. We made it, we use it, and I think you should too. It's used by hundreds of people in the STRU community and they book tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of reservations. So check that out. But we here at EdgeCamp, going back to the original question, I wanted to tell you and I wanted to share with you how important the Booking Direct platform is. And so what I'm going to look at right now is 2021 bookings. And here's the reality. 54% of our bookings, more than half of the bookings, book directly with us. That's amazing. This is our first year of business. 38% come from Vrbo. Now we're in a vacation rental market, and that's historically where Vrbo does really well. And so 54% direct, 38% from Vrbo, which leaves 8% to Airbnb, which when I saw those numbers, I was really quite pleased, kind of shocked, but pleased, because that means we're doing it right? Like more than half our bookings, and many of these individuals are rebooking and referring people, and it's just exactly where we want to be to own and operate our business. And I hope that the Shopify versus Amazon example for any of you that are in e-commerce makes a little bit more sense. But that's where you want to be. Over time, you want to be migrating off of the OTAs because you don't own the relationships. It's very expensive. And if you could fill your own calendar directly, saving all those fees, not only for you, but for your guests, and also building that relationship and that network and that email database and all of that, that has tremendous value if you were ever thinking of selling, right? Think about it. If you've got a business that does really well on Airbnb, but you don't know any of your customers, like on Amazon, that has a certain value at a lower multiple versus if you have a really wonderful e-commerce business and you know all your clients and you have this database of 10,000 people, that's worth a lot more to a prospective buyer. So everything I'm sharing with you is forward thinking and the way that you should be thinking about your business. And if you're not there yet today, totally cool. Just plant the seed in your head that that's where you should be going, that's where you should be swimming, that is where the future is, and that's where the real value is, and that's where you will get paid a multiple more than if you're just solely reliant on the OTAs. And you also need, I can't stress this enough, you also need to diversify. So you heard me share direct, Vrbo, and Airbnb. If there's any of you that are still reliant on just one OTA, whether it's Vrbo or Airbnb, that's a mistake. One bad review, your listings get taken down. I keep reading about these nightmare stories on our Facebook group, so don't do that. Put all of your listings on multiple platforms and get started direct as well, because it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But the sooner you start to see results, the sooner you start to build that email list, the sooner you're creating more value for yourself and your business and for a potential exit. So think about that. Do me a favor, like the video, comment below, and as always, subscribe to the channel, friends. Hey STRU friends, this is your personal invitation to co-invest alongside me. If you haven't heard, I've launched Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities Fund, where I will be personally investing all of my short-term rentals going forward. And if you're an accredited investor and you want instant diversification and you want to participate in the best ideas that I identify, you relate to all of my teachings and the uniqueness and the sense of place and all of that stuff, then please click on the description below and find out more about Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities. The best is yet to come and we're literally getting started. I would love to have you alongside, so let's go.